When looking at bargains on FanDuel, we'll typically focus on hitters who are $3,200 or lower. For DraftKings, the threshold is around $3,800. In general, we'll only highlight players at the top end of that scale if they have star potential. Please note, these player picks were organized early in the day. For MLB contests, always check lineups and weather closer to game time. Rain, wind, or unexpected managerial decisions could open up additional sources of value. Be sure to keep an eye on the MLB headlines and injuries desk. Editor's note: stay ahead of the competition from wire to wire with rankings, customizable projections, trade evaluator, exclusive columns and more in our season pass. And start using optimized lineups on Yahoo, DraftKings and FanDuel with our DFS toolkit. We're picking for the 10-game evening slate at 7:05 Eastern Time. FanDuel. He was able to greatly increase his swinging strike rates on all offerings by simply making them harder for hitters to identify. Despite a luck-neutral 5.00 ERA through 2 starts, Holland once again is showing the traits he possessed last season. Expect roughly a strikeout per inning with better-than-average run prevention. The win bonus might be hard to come by given the Giants' miserable offense. .2 Tyler Austin, C1B, San Francisco Giants, FanDuel $2,200 per DraftKings $3,900. The freshly minted Giant arrived just in time to face Joey Lucchesi. The Padres' southpaw had serious platoon issues last season, including 1.78 HR9 versus right-handed hitters. As for Austin, his best trait is slugging lefty pitchers. In 149 career plate appearances, an admittedly small sample, Austin has hit .281, .356, .602 with the platoon advantage. Oracle Park may be the worst place for Austin to land, but at least this particular matchup is a viable bargain play. .3 Ian Kinsler 2B, San Diego Padres, FanDuel $2,700 per DraftKings $3,700. The Padres recalled Luis Urias yesterday and promptly installed him as the leadoff hitter. After Urias went 0 for 5 with a pair of strikeouts, I expect Kinsler to reprise his role. Although he's only a slightly below league average hitter these days, his pesky approach at the plate can yield multiple hits, walks, and runs. Despite a relatively tepid projection, he's one of the best values available on both sites. .4 Evan Longoria 3B, San Francisco Giants, FanDuel $2,400 per DraftKings $3,400. Everything I said about Austin applies here. Although he no longer strikes terror in lefties, Longoria has a long track record of platoon mashing. Ancient history isn't the reason to select him though. Instead, look to his role as the Giants' third hitter as well as his low price on both sites. Longoria's projection is one of the weakest at third base, but he offers more points per dollar than the superior alternatives. Fit him in around potent stacks and aces. .5 Brandon Nimmo, of New York Mets, FanDuel $2,600 per DraftKings $3,900. The Mets' probable leadoff hitter will face mid-tier righty Kyle Gibson. Nimmo's best traits are working counts and slugging low strikes. This feeds right into Gibson's strengths, nibbling with his slider and generating ground balls. Those factors make this a juicy matchup for Nimmo. Not only are walks and runs on the table, he could also lay into a couple sinkers for extra base hits. Also consider Kyle Gibson, SP-Min, has a relatively neutral matchup against the Mets at Citi Field. While the New York offense is better than average, that's offset by a pitcher-friendly venue. Gibson was able to replicate the gains he made in late 2017 for the entirety of the 2018 campaign. Despite one bad start to date, I see no reason why we shouldn't expect him to repeat as a mid-tier performer. He's priced like a dud. Chris Davis, 1B, Val, is 0 for 28 with 4 walks and 15 strikeouts. This after batting .168, .243, .296 in 522 plate appearances last season. The former slugger has turned into a pitcher at the plate. So why consider him? Because FanDuel made an error. He costs just $500. If that's helping you to swinging together two aces and the stack of your dreams, it might be worth a probably fallow roster spot. Who knows, maybe tonight's the night he gets into one. Don't even think about rostering Davis for $4,000 on DraftKings. Get with a DK. Andrelton Simmons, SS, Law, is a cleanup hitter with bargain basement prices on both sites, $2,400 FD, $3,400 DK. The role alone is worth at least that much, especially when the player in question is a high-contact hitter behind Mike Trout. Multiple hits and plentiful run production are possible. The Angels face Freddie Peralta today, a fairly neutral matchup. Also consider teammate and leadoff hitter Cole Calhoun, of Law.